Khabib Nurmagomedov, the Eagle, the undefeated, 29-0, the GOAT, potentially, certainly the GLOAT, right now the greatest lightweight of all time. He retired in 2020 after tapping out Justin Gaethje on Fight Island, but still been a big fixture in the sport. You often see him at events. And of course, he's coaching some of the best fighters in the world. And up until quite recently with Eagle FC, the man was a promoter in mixed martial arts. But that is all done. Khabib is retiring from MMA in every shape and form. He is walking away from the sport. He has had enough. That is it. We're done. We won't see any more of Khabib. Well, according to his Instagram, according to his coaches, according to some people close to the situation, that is what's gone down. Khabib is stepping away from mixed martial arts forever. And the reason being, well, he wants to spend more time with his family. Of course, Khabib, you know, he's very private with his family, and rightly so. But he has a wife, he has 3 children, and he wants to spend more time with them. And he feels that he's away too much. He's traveling the world. And, you know, to be honest, I certainly get it. I 100% get it. I travel all the time.
Headed to Singapore, fortunately, not a long flight, just a hop, skip and a jump, really. Just a cheeky 17 hours. 17 hours.
And sometimes you think, what am I doing? Is this what's really important in life? So fair play to Khabib. But his coach, Javier Mendez, was talking to Yahoo Sports, and here's what he had to say. He doesn't want to miss being a father. He talked to me 3 weeks ago, and he told me of his plan. And he said that he planned to talk to the team and inform them of his decision. He's doing this for the right reasons. He's a family man, and he simply wants to spend more time with his family. You know, I mean, can't argue with the guy and you can't hold it against him. Now, listen, if you look on Khabib Nurmagomedov net worth, which is never accurate, it says the man's worth $40 million. So I don't know what that will buy you in Dagestan, but I'm sure it buys a lot.
Next is Coca-Cola with ice and some steaks with burgers, you know.
I'm sure he doesn't need money. He has the adoration of the world. People love Khabib. 29-0. Undefeated, an absolute savage in the octagon, but a very humble, warm, kind, loving, caring person in real life. So it's quite, you know, they're quite polar opposites. Him in the cage is a badass.
If you want to find me, please just send me location.
But as a coach, he's unbelievable. I was talking to Bilal Muhammad recently on the podcast, Believe You Me, and he was telling me all about his experiences being coached by Khabib. And let me tell you, it sounds unbelievable, but there's a reason why Khabib, his team, his proteges, his students, Bilal, why they were all doing so well. Because he follows in the footsteps of Abdul Manap, his father, the lessons that he taught him, and he passes that down to other people. I mean, so far, the record of all the people being trained by Khabib is 19-2. Now, that's pretty good if you ask me. Now, of course, you know, when it comes to coaching, we all know about the number 1 protege of Khabib Nurmagomedov, and that is the current lightweight champion of the world right now, Islam Makhachev, who will be taking on Alexander Volkanovski. And there's a good potential. A lot of people say, Javier Mendez included, and even Khabib, and that is how humble the man is, that Islam will go on and become an even better version of Khabib. But out of all the people that he coaches, Islam Makhachev, the champ, Zubura Tukagov, butchered that one, Tagir Ulanbekov, Islam Mamedov, Gadze Rabadanov, Saigid Izagakhmiev, pardon me, his cousin Abubakar Nurmagomedov, Umar Nurmagomedov, Usman Nurmagomedov, and Bilal Muhammad. As I say, coached him just recently for UFC 280 when Muhammad knocked out Sean Brady. Now, yeah, Khabib stepping away from the sport, it's kind of a sad day, you know, I mean, because, listen, he had so many great moments inside the octagon. Of course, you know, he's most well known for the rivalry with Conor McGregor.
I want to fight with your chicken because this is #1 easy fight in lightweight division.
McGregor will never let that go, always talking shit about him online. And to be fair, you know, I'm not taking sides in it, but Nurmagomedov, you never really see him respond too much. And I think there was one time in an interview where he might have said something.
Right now, even I don't want to talk about this shit.
But for the most part, he just says, this is
#1 bullshit.
And he doesn't rise to it, you know. But that fight with Conor McGregor was the biggest fight that the UFC has ever put on. Something like 2.2 million pay-per-view buys. Of course, he beat Dustin Poirier, choked out Justin Gaethje, and retired 29-0. As I say, listen, he wants to spend time with his family. He's been there, done it. He's travelled the world. He's coached people to becoming lightweight champions like Islam. He has a team of people. He's respected all over the world. Loves playing football, soccer, if you want to call it that. So, maybe, I think he got offered to play for a football team somewhere as well, like a professional league. So maybe he wants to go and do that. The reality is, mixed martial arts is a tough sport, mentally and physically. As I sit here right now, I am riddled in pain. My neck hurts, my back hurts. I have no knees and I have one eye, and I got many, many other things like this gigantic monstrosity on my wrist. It's a tough sport physically, but mentally, it's incredibly draining as well. And certainly when you're a coach, right? That is why I haven't coached anybody yet. I want to do that. Okay, I do really want to coach some people. I want to give back to the sport, and I want to pass on some of the knowledge that I've acquired over the years. But it wouldn't be fair for me to do that right now, because when you're a coach, it's got to be all about the fighters, all about the person that's stepping inside that octagon. You have to put them first. You can't pick it up and put it down whenever you please. Just like when you're a fighter, you can't play at mixed martial arts. You can't play at fighting. And it's the same with being a coach. It is not a part-time hobby. It is not something that you do willy-nilly. You don't pick it up and put it down. These people that are fighting for their living, if you're their head coach, they depend on you. They look to you for leadership, for guidance, for mentorship, for techniques, for training, strength, whatever you call it. It's all on the coach. So you've got to be all in. And he was, but clearly he's taken up far too much of his time and he's walking away from the sport. So, he'll always be known, 29-0, the greatest of all time. Certainly the greatest lightweight of all time. I don't know about the greatest of all time. Certainly, he does have a claim to that. The problem is that his record is 29-0, which is just absolutely phenomenal. No one's ever done that. No one's retired undefeated, I don't think. Certainly not at the levels that Khabib was. Now, Gaethje, Poirier, McGregor, Alaquinta, they were his last four. Barboza before that. Then obviously a bunch of good names: Michael Johnson, Horcher, Dos Santos, Pat Healy, Abel Trujillo, Checo Tavares, Gleason Tebow. A lot of recognizable names. But the one argument against him being the GOAT is that he didn't stick around long enough. Well, so goddamn what? He amassed a record of 29-0. He was undefeated and he retired at his absolute prime.
Number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, because I deserve this. Undisputed UFC Lightweight Champion, 13 in UFC, 29 in all my pro MMA career,
The way he was taking those people out, certainly Gaethje and Poirier, unbelievable. Just a wrecking ball of technique, power, and just confidence. Khabib was so confident, and he put Dagestan on the map. Of course, now there's like a big influx of Dagestan fighters, and one of the main guys, I remember the first time I ever met Khabib. It was when I fought Vitor Belfort. I landed at the airport in Sao Paulo. There was me and Jason Perillo, and this little guy gets in the back, this little Dagestani Russian dude. And he was funny, he was charming, he had a lot to say, and he was Khabib Nurmagomedov. And right then and there, Perillo and I, we were like, hold on a minute, we like this guy. And we saw him fight, and he did absolutely fantastic, and of course went on to be the legend that he is today. So Khabib, take a bow, take a break, spend the time with your family, your children, and enjoy. He's done it all. He's been there, he's done it, he's got the t-shirt. And if he wants to walk away, then of course that is his choice. But it's a little bit sad. I like seeing Khabib around. I like seeing the way that he coaches fighters. I like hearing about it from Belal Muhammad, what he had to say about him. There's one thing that Khabib knows how to do. It is run a training room. But still, there it is. Big news, shocking news to be quite frank, because he was doing so well as a coach. But I get it. Traveling around the world, it's a lot of time away from the family, from the wife, from the children, and you never get that time back. I was just recently in Bulgaria shooting a film, and I was gone for almost 3 months, and I felt really bad, mainly on Lucas. Obviously my wife, I think she was happy that I wasn't here. She was happy of the break. But for young Lucas, he's 12 now, but it's time you don't get back, and I felt like an absent father. And maybe that's one of the reasons as well. But anyway, there it is. Saw the news, thought it was shocking. Khabib confirmed it on his Instagram. It's all over the internet right now as well. But still, there are my thoughts. Khabib, thank you for everything that you brought to the sport of mixed martial arts. And hopefully we see you making a comeback soon. Take care.